Good evening, Mr. Glenn Marshall Adams.
Oh, well, Miss Legs, how are you?
I am absolutely fan-dabby dozy.
Oh,
Are you well?
I am better this week, I have to say.
Yes, I dare say you are. You look fabulous, honey.
I am actually having one of the better weeks this week.
Yeah, you had a lot on.
I have actually today I received a phone call from Barclaycard. And do you remember I was telling you a couple of weeks ago that I received a letter from Barclaycard telling me that they owed me a couple of £100 because they overcharged me a couple of years ago, and they've been trying to give me the money back, but I keep moving about, even though I've been in the same address for the past 5 years.
Okay.
So anyway, they rang me today to tell me that they're transferring the close to £500 back to me.
Wow.
Apparently I overpaid on rates and charges or something years ago. I don't know. So
oh my goodness.
Not every day that happens. A bank loan in my favour. No, what is it? What is it? It's from Monopoly. What's the a banking error in your favour?
A banking error in your flavour.
Collect £500. Thank you.
Well done. Put the hand out and just take it.
So how have you been?
I am marvellous. I just have to say that the weekend there past, as you well know, was absolutely fantastic.
Was chocker,
yes,
wasn't
it was. We got one. The last day of summer was literally the only one decent day we got.
Well, can I say that your wish has been answered?
Yeah.
Because when the last one for the road you actually had said, I just need 1 or 2 lovely days of sunshine before the kids go back to school is all you were asking for.
And we got it.
And your prayers were answered.
Mother Nature never lets me down, love. Never lets me down. Well, now we're into September.
I know, it's practically winter.
Yeah. Well, look out the studio window.
I know, it's very great.
But listen, do you know what? We're healthy.
This is it. But here, I have to tell you, so last weekend, I was at Manchester Pride.
Yes, that's right.
Well, what a weekend. What a weekend.
I'm sure.
There was all sorts of shenanigans going on, I have to say. First of all, that's the first time we've been to Manchester Pride in, 7 years. It's been a long time since we were there. I
haven't been in at least 20.
So it was ram-packed, bunged, to the point where actually it was scarily unsafe. Bunged.
Really overcrowded.
Really overcrowded. Now, I have to say, we spent 50 quid on a ticket to get in, and that was supposed to get us in to see the likes of Laureen and Jessie J, Danny Beard, Claire from Steps, and all the rest of it. Sugar Babes were playing as well.
Right.
But the main area where the stage was so busy, they had to stop letting people in. So there's a side street that runs to the left of the stage. There's a street, and people started standing there because you could sort of see over the barrier, but it got so busy there. It was all it would have took is for somebody to sort of shout or scream, something to put everybody into a bit of a panic.
Yeah.
There would have been a massive crush.
Oh.
It's telling you there's an accident waiting to happen there.
Well, I'm sure that the local council will be looking into that and thinking, right, well, we need to avoid that next year. Maybe they sold too many tickets.
See, I think that's what's happened.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. But that aside, great weekend.
I can imagine.
Cracking weekend. We spent most of our time in a place called Centre Stage Bar. I don't know if you remember it.
Love Centre Stage.
It's as tiny as pokeyest wee bar.
Yep.
A couple of drag queens on all night. We had an absolute hit in there. Although £10 a drink.
So what?
£10 a drink.
You are kissing my.
No, 100%.
Are you serious?
Serious.
A tenner a drink.
Tenner a drink.
What were you drinking? Cristal champagne?
No, I was drinking vodka and Diet Coke.
Was it a double?
Well, you double up for an extra £1. So yes, we were drinking doubles, but it was £10 a drink.
So there was 3 of you, so it was £30 around.
£30 around. Yeah.
And if you wanted doubles, it was 33.
Yeah.
Is that with your mixer?
That's with your mixer. But still, here, a tenner a drink is ridiculous. Like,
it's a rip-off.
Absolute rip-off.
But then, see, this is the thing that I don't care what anybody says, and this is my own opinion. You see, I know when Brexit came along and people wanted change and they wanted different things and they wanted to try it, thinking we would have been better off. Mm-hmm. We're not. And I don't think we're ever going to be.
I don't know whether it's Brexit, though, to be honest with you. I think it's just profiteering. I think,
of course it is.
If you look at the average cost of a pint of Guinness, based on a per barrel, you get 50 pints out of one barrel. It works at about £1.50 a pint.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're charging nearly $6.50 for a pint of Guinness now just shows you that there's an extra £5 profit in there. Like, that's madness.
Oh, I know.
You know, it's like 300-400%, whatever it is. Anyway, that aside, we did bump into quite a few people. We bumped into your Sammy.
Samuel O'Boyle.
Samuel O'Boyle.
Samuel O'Boyle. Sammy Sunshine from the Shankle.
Yeah, we did. We met up with Pure Bent in the airport. Before we went, we took her into the lounge. We got her well, good and loose. Topped her up on, she was drinking double vodkas and all, so she was before we'd even left. And I actually bumped into a listener of the podcast, Glenn Campbell, who...
Did you?
Yes, did indeed. And he was...
Hi, Glenn.
He was telling us about how much he loves listening to us. But seeing essentially Cher, Trisha...
Oh, yes.
She was fabulous. But seeing a queen called Sandra. I don't know if you've ever heard of Sandra. She's a London queen.
Yes. She's a coloured girl.
Yes.
Yes.
She is.
Just Sandra.
Sandra.
She's brilliant.
Queen called Sandra.
Yeah.
61 years old.
I met her years ago.
She's 61 years old and she is still
Sharp.
kicking. Like, she is sang live. She actually got a fella up on stage and snogged a bake off him. Mm-hmm. And she was funny as. Really, really funny. The highlight of the weekend was Katie Price.
What?
She was singing live in Via. And I mean, the first thing she said when she came out on stage was, I'm not a singer. So she knew herself, you know. But
yeah, but they loved her.
Okay, she was good crack. She was
Campus
good crack.
Christmas and Bankrupt.
Her daughter Princess was there as well.
Was she? Mm-hmm. Wonder what Pete would say about trailing the wee princess all around.
Well, she's overage. She's over 18 now, so she's.
Is she? I didn't realise.
She's stunning.
Gorgeous
Absolutely
looking wee thing.
stunning
Yeah,
girl. Yeah. And as we were on our flight home, we were standing behind Leo Varadkar.
Right.
And he had his
wristband
on, so we knew he was at Manchester Pride.
Oh, the Trump. I don't blame him for stepping down. He's probably thought, you know what, there's more to my gay life than trying to organise the entire south of Ireland. That's why he's just went, hold on a minute, I'm
taking
not
myself off to England.
Yeah. I'm not the Queen of Ireland anymore.
But spotted quite a lot of celebs as well when we were there. People who were out and about. Of course, now anybody's a celebrity nowadays. You know what I mean? So
for crying out loud! I know.
You need your 5 minutes on TikTok and you're a celeb.
That's it.
But here, no, that was a great weekend. Although I have to say, last week I didn't have the best sort of experience post Pride.
Yes, I know, because unfortunately you fell ill because you caught a wee bit of a bug.
I did. I had a bit of a dicky tummy.
Yeah, and you had a dicky tummy, and you and your bathroom were your bathroom became your best friend.
I had a
for
runny
40
bum.
hours.
I had a runny bum.
You did. You were ricocheting all over the top lamp, so you were.
Oh,
I was on standby to fly over to Tesco's for they were doing a big sale for Andrax, soft and strong and extra long.
I wouldn't even send you to Tesco. I would simply get you onto TikTok to buy 500 rolls for 9p.
I couldn't be annoyed doing any of that. I haven't got a clue how it works, and do you know what? I'm glad I don't know.
You want to see it? There's people on TikTok shop that have got like 36 bog rolls. I don't know. 36 bog rolls for like £9. But it's like this massive thing.
Yeah.
And they're sort of going, get these before they run out. And I'm sort of going but that standard, you're never going to run out of
You're never going to
roll.
run. You're going to end up selling them, love. It's like, here, now tell me this. Let me ask you this. I want to talk to you about this. You know the whole commotion with a certain two brothers from Manchester who are making a comeback after they fell out for so long from like 2009 or something.
Well, it's been rumoured since 2018 apparently that they've sort of reconciled, but they sort of haven't reconciled.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on ahead. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, number one, I kind of get why people like them. Mm-hmm. Because they're so alternative. Mm-hmm. Personally, I mean, I just love my cheesy music. I love my girl bands. I love my Beyonce, my Taylor Swift and all that. And what do you call the little one from Little Mix who just recently released the single?
Jade.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Thurman.
Well, Oasis went hell for leather on the girl band thing and the X Factor and all this. And you can have your own opinion on it, that's fine. But it's right up my street. Mm-hmm. Well, you should have heard her because she was on a chat show, one of them quiz shows. And oh my God, the comeback she had for the Gallagher brothers. You know, you may not like our music, but then nobody really likes yours either. You know, and everybody started to clap her because she was this wee tiny petite thing. But my take on it is this: Ed Sheeran done an interview, and he was asked about this whole queuing up online for hours and hours and hours, and 146,000 in the queue. And when you get right down to the bottom, everybody seemed to be getting bumped off until there was only standing room tickets, which had quadrupled in price to over 300 odd pounds. Wow, how did that happen? And when you finally got there, that's all that was left.
Yeah. So it's surge pricing. It's the same sort of technology that they use for Uber. The more people that demand, the higher the price.
Higher the price.
Same idea.
Ed Sheeran said, no, he explained how he does it. He wants groups of mates and families and everybody to go. So all the prices are the same. He doesn't believe in VIP. He doesn't believe in meet and greet.
It's just greed.
It's pure greed.
It's greed. Like 400. I know exactly what you're talking about. I seen the article. It was like the ticket was £115 face value.
Yeah.
And by the time people had got there, it was like 450.
Yeah. And they're the ones that are going, now if you get these early bird tickets, you're not allowed to sell them.
Yeah. But it's the same sort of idea that, you know, could well be said for like the Spice Girls and all these other bands that have sort of disbanded over the years and then have got back to Girls Aloud as another example.
Yep.
You know, disbanded 10 years ago and now realise that, you know, because they've not put new music out, but there's still a market there, that they'll come back, sing all of their hits and then disappear into the ether again. Yeah. So it is a bit of a cash grab, really, when you look at it.
Well, it really is, and that's what they all do. But it really hit home with me when I listened to Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran, right? And when he said that, I never thought that. I thought it was just a normal system that you did have to pay for VIP if you want a VIP, but they don't have to do that. That's just the promoters being greedy. And when he said, I don't believe in doing that with my fans.
Yeah.
I believe that if 20 mates from a work group want to go together and enjoy my music and be together and having a drink, well, then they all pay the same price.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. And that I didn't understand what it was he was referring to. And then as I went back into social media, then I seen a lot of people complaining, saying that, you know, they queued for hours and hours.
So
on the
can
phone.
I just tell you one thing about that though? So we had a very similar issue whenever we were getting Eurovision tickets last year in Liverpool.
Right.
So a friend of mine and I sat in my office and I had my desktop browser open.
Yeah.
I had my iPad going. I had my phone going.
Wow.
She had her phone going. She had her laptop
You're all
going.
going a dinger.
All trying to get tickets. The thing about it is the technology, it records your internet IP address.
Okay.
So even though you are on separate devices, they all are coming from the same location. So Ticketmaster will naturally boot out, go and hold on. This either looks like a bot because there's now 6 people at the same location that are all trying to access tickets.
Yeah.
So they've actually put measures in place to stop people from, you know, touts and so on from buying tickets up. But the problem is that it has an adverse effect on the likes of us mere mortals who are trying to get tickets, who are desperate fans and really want to go. You know, it puts you right off. Like, and actually, can I just say one thing you've just said, which totally just came to my head, that you mentioned Jade Thirlwell and Liam Gallagher and all them ones sort of having a pop. Didn't they do the exact same thing with the Spice Girls and the Naughties?
They did.
I remember that famous line from Mel C, who said, you know, Oasis, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Didn't they? Like, they had all that beef. Yeah. That was kind of like the big Britpop era.
Well, that was it, because they were big, Spice Girls were big, Girl Power was big, you know what I mean? And I think it was because Spice Girls were just phenomenally huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? So if one of the Gallagher brothers attacks the leading, biggest, most famous girl band in the world, of course they're going to get publicity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Probably could be best friends for all we know backstage.
I think that's exactly what it is.
We'll take a pop at you, we'll run you into the ground, and then you fight with us, and we'll make a lot of money as long as we're getting it. So jumping on the back of their tails, their coattails. Do you know what I mean?
What does it say? It's like any news is good. Any news is good news. Or
any publicity is good.
That's the one.
Even bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that
was Simon Cowell who coined that.
Yeah,
and he was talking about the group. Do you remember Five?
Yes.
Well, when he put them together and they were in a hotel and he put them together for like 3 or 4 days, they trashed the room. And then one of the newspapers got a hold of photographs and stuff like that, and they were panicking because he thought, they hadn't even started recording yet. And then everybody wanted to know who this crazy, sexy boy band were who trashed this very expensive hotel room and left a bill of thousands of pounds worth that Simon Cowell had to pay for. Perfect publicity.
Isn't it just?
He said even bad publicity is good publicity. It's still you're getting talked about.
Definitely. But that's all crazy that they sort of wheeled themselves out.
I think it's madness to charge people nearly £400 to stand. When you consider during the summer, how much was it to go and see one of the Gallagher brothers over in Boucher Plainfields?
Oh, it definitely wasn't £400.
£60.
Yeah.
£60, and was it sold out?
No,
My backside it was. Absolutely not, and that's a fact.
But wasn't it's the people who had bought like Taylor Swift tickets recently as well. I remember that they had spent like hundreds of pounds on VIP views, and sure didn't they end up getting seated behind one of the technical tents, so they couldn't actually see the stage. And then there's actually nothing you can do about that, really. And it's because a lot of the tickets are sold months and months before the show ever is put together. And then it's kind of like they have to work out where they're going to put the technical tent. And then, of course, people who have been, who have thought they've bought a VIP ticket, once they finally do dress rehearsals, they realise that the tent needs to go there, and that poor sod that's paid, £500-600 for a ticket. I just think it's madness. Like £500 to go for a concert for 3 hours.
Samuel Boyle and I went over to this is about 18-20 years ago, and I bought me and him 2 tickets to go and see Kylie Minogue. Do you remember she was diagnosed with breast cancer?
Yes,
she had to cancel her tour. So that was fine, and then she came back and she was well. So for Christmas, I bought me and him 2 tickets, and we got a flight and we went over, but we were late because we were delayed. And we went to London, and the guy, I had no idea where we were supposed to sit. And Sammy says, do you know where we're sitting? And I said, well, it's on the ticket, but I don't know where that is. So this lady came over because we were lost once we made our way through, and she said, come with me. Well, we kept walking round the side. I'm walking. Here was me. We're going to end up on stage. And then she cut down the side. Sammy looked at me and I looked at him. We were 3 rows from the front. And there was 2 fellas sitting in our seats hoping that we weren't coming.
Wow.
And we were literally 5 minutes before she came on stage. And they were like, hey, you two, get out. And we went down and we sat. We had the best time. But I'll tell you, the best Kylie concert I ever went to see was when she released her Christmas album.
Oh, for goodness sake, here we go.
Had to get that in there somewhere. And we went to the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, fabulous.
And would you hear this? So we didn't like our seats. So me and Sammy made our way up onto the balcony. And the bar was there, and we found this wee landing because we wanted to dance. And on the other side, everybody was just seated. Me and Sammy danced, and then because we get up and danced, them was on the other side. They get up and danced, and then because we were up dancing, everybody was around pushing their seats. You know the way it's just those flip up and down seats. Everybody was up dancing. And I have to say, it was one of the best concerts ever. The only downside was had to make my way back to my place where I was staying, which was miles away. And then Sammy and I got split up. I fell asleep and found my lodgings, and then had to get up like 5 o'clock in the morning to get a 7 o'clock flight to come home, to get into bed at 10 o'clock, and had to go to work at 4.
Jeez.
It was tough. It was tough.
Was it cracker though?
Oh my God, it was amazing. Gorgeous big Christmas concert with Kylie. And I play that album every year when I'm doing my tree and I do my lights and my ornaments and my wee mats and all down.
Well, it's officially winter, so I mean, I'm not quite surprised that you haven't already got...
It's officially autumn.
I thought there was only 2 seasons in the world of Tina Legs Tantrum.
And the sky is grey.
So, I was sent to you yesterday. I'm trying to read...
It's officially 114 days until Christmas. Just thought I would put that in there. If you'd like to support our podcast, then please consider joining us on Patreon. For the cost of a drink per month, you can listen to episodes early, access exclusive digital content, and get discounts to G&T shows. Membership tiers start from free, with paid memberships starting at £3, £4 and £5.50 per month, which each tier offering increased benefits. Your support helps us keep the conversations flowing, so join us at www.patreon.com/GNTpod.
So thank you very much, Miss Legg. So in the interest, yes, as part of our paid tiers, we do want to give shout outs to our paid Patreon members.
Yes,
so
of
this
course.
episode goes out to our paid Patreon member, Squeezy. That's all I can tell you.
Love it.
Doesn't tell me anything more about Squeezy, but thank you so much, Squeezy, for supporting our podcast. It's people like yourself that keep the conversation going.
They do indeed.
And
Thanks, Squeezy.
Tina and I will share that drink that you've provided for us.
Yes, we will indeed, darling. Thank you so much.
Chin
Chin.
So I've been trying to repopularize the word cracker.
Cracker.
Don't ask me why. I was just on the other day and I thought, do you know what? I do tend to use the word brilliant, fabulous, like
Fantastic.
all those kind of adjectives.
Fab.
Yeah, like all those kind of adjectives. I kind of thought, well, one have I not used for quite a while? Cracker.
Here's two words that I'm going to start using: belter and beezer. Because when you say cracker, of course, if you have to have something, I have to have something.
Absolutely.
And when you said to me cracker, and then I said to you, is belter acceptable? What about beezer? Because we used to say that when we were kids.
I mean, that's what it's taking me back to. It's like whenever you used to speak to your mates, I was down there, so wasn't it? With cracker.
It's cracker. Oh, mommy. Oh my God, that's a belter. And if, you know what I mean? And if something happened that was really good, and we were kids, say, what was it like? Oh my God, it was beezer.
So we went to Spaghetti Arms yesterday.
Oh, fabulous.
And if our listeners aren't aware, Spaghetti Arms is the small restaurant which is located beside Union Street Bar.
Stunning.
They do takeout, and they do a Sunday roast. Now, I have to say, Tina, the roast was huge.
Was it?
It was huge.
Right.
It was like I needed a ladder just to sort of get to the top of it. Like it was massive. Food was fabulous. So good.
I would have loved to invite me and mummy, but sure, maybe.
Would have
I
loved
don't
to
know.
invited you, darling,
Yeah.
but it was a bit of an ad hoc. We were coming back down the road from Ballymena, so
And you were like, well, we'll go to Scotty Arms again. We roast Sunday one
it's
of
like,
them
where would we go? It
ones.
was either that or Ratio Todd's, but
My mummy would have went willingly. But here's the one thing, and you had a gorgeous Sunday roast, which Spaghetti Arms I adore. She'd had a wee bit of roasty, she had a wee bit of meat and maybe a wee bit of vegetable, and here she made to me, oh, I can't finish that, it's too much. Like, mummy, you've had 3 mouthfuls. Woman eats like a budgie. She eats like a budgie.
just pack it up.
You know what I'm going to get her for Christmas? A box of Trill. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So my wee great nephew Corbin and my niece Michelle. So Kathy brought the kids down to see their great granny, my mummy, because our Corbin turned 9, and because mummy has a Dublin accent, we Southern accent, which kids find fascinating, right? So we have a French bulldog called Thumper. When my mummy calls his name, she goes Thumper, right? So, and she had them up and down on the left and on her knee, and they were having the best time. And they had a bottle of Guinness, and Kathy brought lovely donuts and flowers. So, and they had a lovely wee hour together, and it was really, really nice because you and I were on the road, we were doing stuff. And then Kathy phoned me last night, killed herself laughing. She goes to me, oh my God, will you hear this, Tina? I have something to tell you. I said, what is it? She goes, when we were driving home, Corbin turned to me and says to me, see, when I get a dog, I'm going to call it Thumper. And Kathy went, what are you going to call it? Thumper. Why are you saying it like that? Because Nanny Terry's wee dog's called Thumper. And Kathy was like, no, that's the way Southern people pronounce their T's. They don't, it's Thumper. It's Thumper. And he went, no, it's not Thumper. And it was so, and she was driving and the tears were rolling down her face. And Michelle was in the back and Michelle was like, no, sorry. Nanny Terry says the dog's called Thumper. So we have to get a dog called Thumper. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Stop you throwing them faces at me when I tell you something, sunshine. I've had a lovely summer and we're slipping into autumn, which I like, and I adore the dark, cold nights. I really, really do. I love getting heat and all, love lighting fire. And then, as you well know, and then I'm not really a big lover of Halloween. Do you like Halloween?
I don't really mind Halloween.
Okay.
I don't do much at Halloween,
Neither
if I'm
do I.
honest. We would normally sort of be trying to get in the last couple of weekends up to Port.
Right, okay.
Because we would normally spend this time, especially in the autumn, we would try and get up to Portrush every weekend if we're not working. But I wouldn't really do much for Halloween. And if we were going out, we wouldn't dress up.
Right, okay.
That kind of way. But
Bores
we would go out.
You're boring.
We would be boring.
Be boring, right, okay.
Well, do you do much for Halloween?
Well, I like Halloween where I live because it's very family orientated, and I would have loved the way they do the tricking and treating and all now, and they take the kids round, and there's always a responsible parent or two or a guardian with them. And I like the build up. I love the build up, and they get the big tubs of sweets and stuff, and then the wee kids all come along. And then there's where I live, you see, there's playing fields at the top, and the fireworks display is phenomenal. And as long as the wee ones are happy and they're safe, and I get out the big buckets of sweets and they'll go, and I left like one or two, and I have to forget because I have a very domineering kind of tone to my voice, don't I? Mm-hmm. And I don't want to scream down the microphone. I go, "Don't take a one, take a handful." And they come in, I'll be like, "Yes, take another one." Do you know what I mean? And the guardians, the parents, or whatever, would say, "Oh, Tina, thank you very much. That's very kind."
Are the kids not confused with you being dressed as Mrs. Claus?
Absolutely not, because I confuse the kids every year because my Christmas tree is in the window, my lights are hanging, I'm ready for the big switch on, I have the tree at the front, the tree at the back, my hall is like a grotto, and they all go, see when they come to the door, Glenn, here they be, Halloween, Merry Christmas, I'm frying their wee brains.
So here, I was having a think, so do you know the way that Taylor Swift has her Swifties?
She does.
And Lady Gaga has her Monsters.
She does.
And for the benefit of our listeners, I put my hand up like a claw. Or like a paw. So they're called Monsters.
Yeah.
And then you have like Beyonce's is the Bayhive, and then you've got Mariah Carey's Lambs and so on.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, if you were to give your fan base names, what would you call them?
Oh, that's a very good question. The real hardcore Tina fans.
Yeah. So what would you
the
call
Tinettes?
The Tinettes.
Yeah.
Why? But it's normally it has to be like a play on kind of like Tina Leg's Tantrum. So why Tinettes?
Because it's got the TIN in it, you know what I mean? It's always nearly 80% of female, like a female capacity in my audiences.
Okay.
And I would say Tinettes.
So I think I'd like to hear if our listeners could come up with something better. What do you reckon?
So like Taylor Swift has her Swifties, Beyonce has her
Bayhive.
And Bayhive and the Leggettes.
The Leggettes isn't bad.
Legs and Co.
The Leggettes isn't bad, but no, I think if our listeners could come up with, give listeners, if you are fans of Tina, what would you call yourselves as a collective fan base? Bearing in mind that we've got Swifties for Taylor Swift, Monsters for Gaga, and so on. Send us a wee message. You can get in touch with us through all the usual means.
Fanalos. Fans of Barry Manilow.
Yes, are you a Fanalo?
Yeah, be a Fanalo.
Get in contact with us through all the usual means. You'll find all of the information that you need to get in contact with us in the description of this very episode. Of course, you can email us as well, or you can just send us a voice note on WhatsApp.
Yes, of course. Send them in. Let us hear your voices.
I thought mine would be the Glennabelles.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. I want you to play with my ding-a-ling.
So we're nearly getting to the end of this episode because this is our one for the road episode.
It is.
Now, I just wanted to sort of take just a quick moment.
Okay.
Because we did get some feedback from a listener.
Okay.
They were a little upset with us.
No way.
Because they feel that our One for the Road episodes are just too short.
Well.
So I had to explain, Tina,
yes,
that
love.
the purpose of our One for the Road episode, it is technically a bonus episode for listeners because
that's right.
Whenever we first launched the podcast, we had agreed we were going to be putting an episode out every fortnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got feedback from people saying, we can't wait a fortnight.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, then what we'll do is we'll put out an interim episode. So we'll kind of put one out every other week, which will be our One for the Road, where Tina and I will just sit and have a bit of a goss.
About life.
And things that have sort of happened just whatever during the last week or whatever. So for the listener that reached out to us, thank you so much for your feedback.
That's a lovely thing to say.
It is I'm taking nothing but positives from it. It's like, you know.
I mean, as a single mother and a busy housewife, I don't even know where I find the time to bake my own bread at the best of times. But thanks.
Thank you very much for the feedback. That was cracker. If you do have anything you want to share with us, any feedback, or you have any comments, or you want to ask us a question, maybe you've got a confession, or maybe you just want to just have a bit of a moan or a rant about something that's going on in your life, and maybe you want Tina to try and give you some advice on that, then get in touch. As I said, all the information is in the description of this episode.
Do you know what I would love our listeners to do?
Tina?
Do you know what I love at Christmas time? Do you know when you pull the cracker and the corniest jokes? I would love our listeners and our fans to message in, voice note, text, email, and tell us the worst joke they've ever heard. Do you want to hear mine?
Go for it.
What do you call an Irishman with no shins?
I don't know. What do you call an Irishman with no shins?
Tony. Not awful.
That's where we play the
So I hope our listeners are in there listening and they can text, email, voice note, and just ones like that, you know. I just love all those, because even though if you don't like Christmas, those have to be, that's one of the parts that I love, because it's wrong and it's horrible.
As you mentioned earlier on, we have been super busy.
Yes.
We've been taking the G&T show on the road. That's the G&T karaoke, and we've been doing Crazy Bingo. And of course, not to mention, as we do in most episodes, we talk about Drags to Riches.
Oh, love.
But we do have a couple of shows coming up.
Yes. And I believe the first one in September is Saturday the 21st of September. And what we also need to let everybody know, our shows in Union Street start an hour early.
They do. So they now run from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m.
That's correct. So we will be on stage, loud, live and in colour, and in full pelt Mahara felt, giving it large. So we will. So the shows start at 4 o'clock in Union Street.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who have bought your tickets for the show in Ards on Friday the 27th of September, completely sold out.
It is indeed.
Thank you so much.
And of course, if you can't make Saturday the 21st of September in Union Street Bar, then do not fret.
Nope.
Because we're going to do it all over again on Saturday the 28th of September in Union Street. Now, remember that showtime starts at 4 p.m. and we do have limited tables left.
Yes.
Get your tables. They're
Please.
£10 to reserve a table. Get in early, get some grub, get your table booked.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed a seat, and you'll get to see
And the
Tina
table.
in her full-on glorious...
And you,
and
Buster.
And me in the corner. You'll get to see Tina and I busting a groove in the corner.
DJ Glenn will be a cracker, I'll be a belter. What I like to do is we have to do new songs live.
Yes.
Vocals. I've got a couple of ideas.
I definitely think we need to rehearse something.
I do.
New.
I love a good old crowd pleaser, a nice cheesy one, you know what I mean?
What about a musical number?
I don't mind, but I like people to know it as well. Do you know what I mean? What about Oasis?
I can sing Oasis. Fun fact, do you know I actually sang Wonderwall for my GCSE music exam?
Failed.
What are you talking about? I think you'll find I got an A for my music exam.
Did you? I've never seen
it. I did
indeed. Aye, for A, taxi, go.
A for atrocious.
Abysmal.
Okay, enough. Just enough. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Lots of hugs, kisses, squishes, and love.
Yes, and until next time, Miss Legs.
Oh, Glenn Marshall Adams, DJ Glenn Marshall Adams, DJ Mushroom.
Chin
Chin.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of G&T Sips and Giggles. If you've enjoyed our conversation, then don't forget to share it with your friends, and why not subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Your reviews mean the world to us and really help others find the show, so please take a moment to leave one. But be kind. If you'd like to support the podcast, why not consider joining us on Patreon? For the cost of a drink a month, you can listen to episodes early, access exclusive digital content, and get discounts to upcoming G&T shows. Your support helps us keep the conversation flowing. Cheers, we'll see you next time. Chin chin.